Welcome to AltRevTec. Today I wanted to talk about diluting your focus equaling diluted results. I have it written up here on the board, but one of the things that we often can fall into the trap as, in entrepreneurship, especially if you're in serial entrepreneurship like me, is that we can start working on several different projects at the same time and trying to split our attention between all of these different projects. And oftentimes we're delegating things to other people. And so we can manage a multitude of different things. The problem that gets in our way is when we start diluting our focus too much on projects that maybe aren't overlapping or similar in certain ways. And we start to lose the direction that we're heading in. And we start getting diluted results. Now, I've experienced this in my career to where I'm trying to be a life coach. I'm trying to be a marketing coach. I'm trying to market with this product over here, that product over there. And I'm like split between 4 or 5 different brands, 4 or 5 different ideas and concepts that we're trying to grow. And in that, my focus gets diluted. And then I find, oh, my customers are suffering for a result. So I have to cut back on the number of customers that I have so that I can give that customer the focus and the attention that they deserve, right? So, and this happens in our lives all the time. If we're not giving the attention to our spouse, if we're not giving that attention to our kids, we're going to suffer the consequences for that. So I'm bringing that to our attention. When we're thinking about business, we want to start thinking MVP. Minimal viable product. What's like the minimal thing that I have to focus on so I can be laser focused on that thing? And if we're trying to think of it in this big picture format, if we're trying to think of it in this format, there's all of those things that need to get done. There's all of these pieces and components that make that up. But when we flip the script and we think minimal viable product, we are flipping the diluted focus down into a very focused thought process, right? And so we can work on all of these multiple projects if we're thinking from an MVP. What is the minimal thing that I need to do to keep moving this forward? Now over here, what's the minimal thing I need to be doing to create the result that I'm looking for over here? And then when we start to break those down into little bite-sized pieces, they're a lot more digestible. The question becomes, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is it starts with a bite at a time. Thinking minimal viable product. Instead of diluting your focus, focus on the simple next step and continue to move from there. So you can work on several projects at the same time, but you are very clear on the thing that you're focusing on with each of those projects. And then as that moves forward, you're clear on what that looks like. And that clarity comes from a couple of things. One is doing the work ahead of time, right? Planning. It comes with setting up a schedule, setting up spreadsheets, so you know exactly the things and you're documenting the things that matter so that you can create that laser focus. So it takes doing some of that pre-legwork and getting at those, knowing where we're going. We got a flag plant and over here we're heading in that direction. Now we can start to build out those incremental steps and start thinking about the minimal viable product as opposed to how do we start to take on this whole thing? Well, we're going to take on that piece, and then later on we'll focus on the next piece and the next piece and the next piece until before we know it, we've eaten that whole thing. But it looks like this. Beautiful drawing, right? So the goal is that this brings you value. Dilute your focus, dilute your results, clarify your focus, clarify your results, and move that needle forward.